5, 7, 1, 2, 3.
Hi, this is Pods and Ends, the junk drawer of pop culture and geek podcasts. Hello and welcome to Pods and Ends, episode 15. Today we're talking End Game conspiracies. Theories, maybe? You tell us about it, Sophie.
Well, you might want to pop your tinfoil hats on for this episode. We've these aren't going to be particularly serious predictions, but I've been diving into the bottom half of the internet for some of the
underbelly.
Sounds not appropriate. Anyway, continue.
to find some of the more wacky theories for what people think is going to happen in Endgame, because as I'm sure you all remember, this time last year we were left on the cliffhanger of all cliffhangers in Infinity War. So that we've had a lot of time to kind of try and guess what's going on, and as ever, the theories are getting stupider on occasions. So,
well, we'll wait to hear them before we start calling things stupid.
True. I mean, anything could happen.
True.
Anyway, yeah. So as you've probably gathered, is Sophie. I'm here. With me on my right, as ever,
Phil.
Across the pond, we also have
Shelby.
And Brian.
Yay, full house, yay.
Boop, boop, boop. Well done us. So before we go into the main event, our Avengers Crazy Predictions, we've got our usual segments. This week we have What's Your Jam, Netflix and Chill, Silver Screen, Locker Room, and Off the Shelf. So let's dive into What's Your Jam?
Far out, man. What's your jam?
I'm going to start What's Your Jam this week.
Okay, take it away.
We didn't mention it on last week's show, but a sad event happened. Keith Flint from The Prodigy died.
Yeah.
And he changed the face of British music with The Prodigy. I remember being about 10 years old when Firestarter came out, and then playing it on Top of the Pops is what we used to call it, before MTV was a big deal. And just thinking, this is pretty good. And then...
What genre would you say The Prodigy is?
Drum and bass.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know. Just like drug music.
Yeah, basically. Drug and
and then
I forget what they used to call it here. They had like... I don't know. They name every subgenre here. I can't remember what it was called. But
it's not rave.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Not.
It's like techno rock. I don't know.
Yeah, because they headline like Download, which is our like rock and metal festival here, and they still kind of get away with headlining that as opposed
that
to...
seems to be the crowd of people that would listen to them here. And that brings up a good point of something that we listen to the top 50 on Spotify all the time, and you don't get any rock music on that hardly at all anymore. And it makes me kind of sad that those days of sort of a more diverse top 50 are gone. But anyway, I digress.
Those days are gone.
Back in my day.
This is my heartfelt section.
Sorry, Kat, continue.
So they like to call it breakbeat hardcore alternative dance.
Okay, that's...
Holy cow,
right.
that's a mouthful.
And we were lucky enough to see them a couple of times live, and they were life-changing gigs.
Yeah.
Just in more ways than one. And I think that he died of a suicide, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
And it makes me sad.
Yeah.
People need to go, and if they've got problems, they need to speak about them. So, yeah, rest in peace. That is me done. I'm going to just go and sit in the corner for a bit now.
Oh, no. Okay, well, I have kind of a slightly more... I have a bit of an uplifting What's Your Jam that I wanted to talk about. Hopefully can cheer us up a bit. I have been listening to a lady called Jolyn Tsai. I've basically been... that's Psy, not spelt like Psy Gangnam Style, but Psy is in like Tsai. Psy. She is a Taiwanese kind of singer, and she is not considered... I mean, I say not considered attractive because you look at her videos and I'm just like, well, she's gorgeous. I don't know where this is coming from. But she's not considered particularly attractive, and she gets slated a lot in the press. She's considered the queen of C-pop. So I'm sort of branching out from K-pop now, guys. You'll be really proud of me.
I am.
Yeah. And
what does the C stand for?
Chinese.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So a lot of her songs are in
Yeah, she didn't
Chinese.
branch very far, but she branched.
She did not. She branched, yeah. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so she's not considered sort of classically beautiful. She got a lot of flack for that. And also she's like 38 years old, which in the pop world is considered like well past it. But she just keeps going on. She reinvents herself. She kind of reinvents her style and her image quite frequently. And the song that I've been most obsessed with at the moment is a song called Ugly Beauty, which is essentially her responding to this sort of hate that she keeps getting and saying, basically sort of putting the old two fingers up at it. Anyway, so some of like my particular favourite lines from hers. She's like things like, who says what's beautiful and what's ugly? Like, who sets these kind of rules? And if you can't see my beauty, you must be blind, because it's sort of this like, we're all beautiful, guys, you know, let's just stop judging each other. And it's just very empowering stuff. I really, really
Doesn't
like
Lady
her.
Gaga have a song like that?
Potentially.
You mean Born This Way?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's that kind of vibe. It's sort of, it's just very sort of positive about like your own image and stuff like that. And I'm just into it. And also, it's a good bop as well.
I'll have to give it a listen.
Yeah, I think you'd be into it. Actually, it's a good bop. I've bopped around my kitchen. So yeah, Ugly Beauty and also Womanly is a cool song as well. That's a bit more chilled. So yeah, that's I think that's it for What's Your Jam this week. So let's head on over to Off the Shelf. Turn off the television. In fact, why don't you turn off all the lights except for the one over your favourite chair? It's time for Off the Shelf. Which is you this week, Brian.
Yeah, I'm up. So in talking to my main comics guy, because lately the MCU has leaped over Star Wars for me, so I'm trying to get more into Marvel and the thing that basically spawned the MCU. So I got a subscription to Comixology Unlimited.
Oh, nice.
And then since I got it from Marvel, I immediately started reading the rest of Alita, as one does, because that makes no sense. But I didn't realize that Comixology had manga on it, and now my brain has exploded. But they have the rest of the whole Alita series, so I'm going through that. And I finally met the Hugo character, who's actually Yugo in the manga. But it's interesting that he comes into play so late in the story. But I mean, you know, with a movie, it makes sense to switch things up. Mm-hmm. But I'm glad that he exists and he didn't just get created for the movie. I feel better about the whole thing now.
So what like MCU comics are you interested in checking out?
Well, Thor's my favorite character, so I want to get into that. I'm really curious about Captain Marvel now because she's one of the ones I know very little about. I love Guardians, so I want to explore that some more. I'm very interested in where we left off with the whole Adam Warlock thing. I forget what those. Maybe that was the end of Guardians 2.
Yeah, I think it was.
The little
it?
teaser, yeah.
Or is he in Spider-Man?
Maybe.
Or is that,
I don't
or is that
remember.
just a rumor? Maybe that he was going to be in Spider-Man.
Probably. I don't know.
I can't remember. Yeah.
He's been teased and then like nothing. Well, obviously because of Avengers, he's kind of everything except that has taken a back seat. But I'm looking to get my feelers out there, and I'm really excited that there's, you know, between this and Marvel Unlimited. I actually went with Comixology Unlimited because we already have Prime, so I'm already hooked up for it. That's where I was getting my comics already. And now that I know it is accessible to more things. Oh, and it has Saga. That's the other thing I wanted to read because the author of Saga is writing the Gundam live action movie. So I wanted to kind of peek into his world a little bit because I'm excited about that.
So do you get them on your phone, or is it a physical comic that you get with this?
Yeah, it's a digital subscription.
Okay, cool.
You basically borrow the books, and then, you know, I don't know if there's a limit to how many you can get or not. If there is, I haven't found it yet, and I've downloaded several just so I'll have them. But I actually do it on my Kindle. It's too small on my phone for me because I have an old SE phone. My kids make fun of me all the time because my phone's tiny. But I like the small size, and I'm one of those people that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't get new phones until my phone breaks. So, yeah. But that's me. It's good. If you're interested in getting into the MCU like I was, I would say either Marvel Unlimited or Comixology Unlimited, good options. They're fairly inexpensive, and the amount of material you get is phantasmo.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. I think Brian's the only one who's actually been reading
Able to
this
read.
week. Yeah. Well, I finished that Legends of Luke Skywalker book actually, but literally only like yesterday finished it. So, and I already talked about that last week. So, let's leave off the shelf and head into Netflix and chill.
Netflix and chill.
Phil, you have a Netflix and chill.
Netflix
Everything's
and
live.
Phil.
Netflix and Phil.
Yeah.
That's what all the girls say. So I've been talking life-changing already. Life-changing prodigy gigs.
You're not a ray of sunshine actually at the moment, are you?
I watched the new Ricky Gervais 6-part series called Afterlife.
Oh, that does look good.
I can't recommend it highly enough. I sobbed my way through episodes 5 and 6, and I laughed my way through all of it. It's
That's
been
the one-
slated.
One of them is dying, and the other one's like the best friend, right? Something like that.
His wife has died, and it's the aftermath of his wife dying and how he deals with it. And yeah, it's just amazing. I don't know what to say. I don't want to spoil it for people because it's that good that everyone
Right.
should watch it. But I cannot recommend it highly enough. And
You're not a crier either, are you? So that's quite something to get you.
Good grief, I am.
I think that it is equally his best work, and I am a big fan of Ricky Gervais. It's been slated by some critics, but
Well, they know.
sometimes people just like to write stuff because they've got nothing good to say.
Well, it's also Ricky himself, isn't it? He can sometimes have a bit of a... He's got a strange reputation, hasn't he? Because some people, it's like he's just a comedian. Some people think he can come across a bit of a douche. But actually, like, he does... You know, because I think he doesn't shy away from things, does he? With his stand-up or with, you know, like Derek, when we watched that. That's an amazing programme, and it's really, really deep and, like, quite hard-hitting. And, again, some people just didn't like that. So I think some people just don't like him. I think he's a bit of a Marmite person, isn't he? You know?
And
Nicely done.
and there's a dog in it as well.
Oh, God. I
Um,
don't know if I can handle that.
Yeah, I don't mess with dogs.
And the dog is the thing that keeps him going.
Oh, my God.
That's all I'll say.
Oh, my God.
That's apparent in the first 5 minutes of the programme, so
Yeah.
it's not a spoiler. But yeah, it's a heartwarming story, and it's got ups and downs, and it's only half an hour an episode, only 6 episodes, 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
We've all wasted 3 hours watching The Hobbit.
Oh, wow.
Oh!
Battle of the Five
Got
Armies.
him!
God,
So they're
shade out of nowhere.
So let's spend it doing something else. But yeah, I am not ready to rewatch it yet because I want to watch it with Soph, and it might need a couple more days. But I am definitely going to rewatch it within the next week because it is amazing.
Okay.
And that is
Wow.
my Netflix and Phil.
Nice.
Renaming the section now, are we?
Yeah, we watch so many of the little previews because, oh my gosh, there's so much content on Netflix. But I was thinking there's one where there's like 2 friends and one of them's dying. Oh, that's Ray Romano. That's who that. I knew it was someone else like famous for being a comedian that was doing something more serious. But that one looks good too. Like, oh my gosh, we need more time in our lives for Netflix.
Yeah.
Yep.
Damn you, Netflix, for being so good.
Why?
You guys did have a Netflix and chill this week, though, right?
Yes, and it's actually Netflix. We started watching
All things just keep getting better.
the 3rd season of Queer Eye,
Oh, okay.
and it's really good. Lots
So
of crying, like happy crying.
Yeah, I
This is the
literally
program
cry
where the guys
every episode.
redress someone. Is that
It's
right? Or is
a lot
It's a
more
lot
than
more.
that. I mean,
That's what it used
bare
to be. yeah?
bones. That's what it is. Yeah,
Right.
it's kind of like a makeover show, but it's
But it's pretty
like head to
wholesome.
toe.
Mm-hmm.
and like inside and out,
Oh.
which sounds really cheesy now that I've said it. But
yeah. So Queer Eye it's a reboot of the 2000s show Queer Eye for the Straight Guy.
Mm-hmm.
So they've shortened it so that like the people that they're making over.
Right, they've opened up their options essentially.
Right. So it's 5 gay men that go and give someone basically a whole life makeover. So it's fashion, culture, design, like interior design, grooming, and food. And so each person, they have some sort of nominator, and they come and take them for a week and work on them, and they get them a new wardrobe. They redo part of their house or whatever they've asked them to redo. I think someone did like a community center once because they were...
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
And this season, there was one where it's like a restaurant. Plus, they, like I said, they get them new clothes. They usually get a new haircut or something like that.
Yeah, so that's more the traditional makeover part, but...
And then the culture part of it is they sit down and kind of work on themselves and think about how they kind of got into the rut that they were in before these 5 guys... 5 guys.
That's a burger joint for anyone who doesn't know.
Right. Show up, and... it's really interesting, and I mean, it's kind of like that reality TV feel.
Because it is.
Well, it is, but it's got that classic, like, you sit down on the couch and binge it kind of thing.
That's funny that that's a classic thing now.
So, at the end of the episode, do they tell you, like, 6 months later, and they give you, like...
No.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
basically what it does is each person is building up to something. Like they prep for a week for a thing they're going to do. Like the one that was a restaurant, they have a grand reopening. One person held a potluck dinner for friends. So
one, like, they had a special date, an anniversary date with their partner.
It's all leading up to something, and then, you get the big reveal. Oh, things are going to be so different, blah, blah, blah. I haven't heard anything about, things falling apart afterward, but...
I mean, that's what the internet's for. You can look these people up.
Yeah, I'm sure there's 5 years after Queer Eye, what happened to so-and-so? But it hasn't been long enough for that kind of thing, I don't think.
Right.
So.
And the last season got 4 Emmy nominations. It's a really, really surprise hit show.
Well, it's really heartfelt. Like I said, I seriously cry every time, but I'm soft. I'm like a...
Same.
I don't know.
You're Pillsbury
something.
Doughboy.
Yeah. That's because I'm chubby, but I'm also soft because I'm weepy. I'm just so empathetic.
But it's a really good it's a feel good show.
It is,
How long are the episodes?
45 minutes.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, cool.
I have to give that a go, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 3 seasons of it now, so you got lots of binge time.
Nice. Cool. Well, I think that wraps up Netflix and Phil, apparently. So let's head on over to the silver screen.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats for the silver screen.
We've had a busy week, haven't we? We actually have 4 silver screens, but we've already talked about Captain Marvel, so that one's done. But yeah, we've been busy, haven't we? Do you want to take us through the first one that we saw on Wednesday night, Phil?
Deadpool 2. Slept through it.
Wow, okay, that's not...
What?
Wait! Oh my goodness, okay, that wasn't
Slept
what I thought you
through
were going to talk
Deadpool
about.
2? I thought it was terrific.
I was very tired.
Phil's at the point now where he almost cannot stay awake in a film. It's a problem, isn't it?
My
If you go and
dad's
see a
been there
film
for
in the
like 20
evenings,
years.
You just gone. But I stayed awake for all of Deadpool 2.
It'd be the equivalent of if you went to bed at 3:30 every morning. That's like the time that I normally go to bed. It's the time I wake up in the morning. I start early.
I know you do.
Give me some appreciation.
I do give you appreciation. I give you lots of appreciation. I'm just saying. You slept through Deadpool 2.
Okay, so on Wednesday we went to see Fighting with the Family, which is a heartwarming British comedy about the wrestler Paige, who is a WWE wrestler, and the story of how she became a wrestler.
So Paige was one of the wrestlers who she was kind of one of the front runners, wasn't she, for like what's been known as the Women's Revolution.
So before it was all women who wore bikinis and they had bikini contests, and it was
they had the divas
who had
belt
the nicest body and the biggest fake tits and the blonde hair. And,
yeah.
And then about 4 years ago, they decided that women are actually allowed to
Well, they were good wrestlers,
They actually are allowed to fight each other, and they
take it seriously. Yeah.
And she was basically the forerunner of, I just like wrestling for wrestling.
Yeah.
I like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I like Rock. I like all these. I'm not here for people to be staring at my body. I'm here to beat people up.
She was kind of slightly she was slightly more covered up than the other girls, wasn't she? When her wrestling outfit, and she had long black hair, and she didn't do the fake tan and stuff, and she kind of, she kept her look that was very her throughout her entire wrestling career. But the really tragic thing about Paige, which is in the back of your mind when you watch this film, is that she had to retire last year, was it?
Yeah.
From a horrific back injury that she got in a fight.
Neck injury.
Was it neck, was it? Oh. And she was literally cut down in like her absolute prime, wasn't she? And she was I think she was a good heel, wasn't she? As a wrestler.
Good baddie, yeah.
Yeah. And she, and the WWE is worse off without her, isn't it? I mean, I know she does a lot of the mic stuff now, doesn't she? And she's manager.
Yeah.
For one of the managers and stuff, but it's still just not the same without her, and you've got that in the back of your mind when you watch this film, haven't you, the whole time?
And yeah, her parents are hilarious.
Yes.
And they tell some amazing stories. And then at the very end of the film, as the credits coming up, you flip to the actual family.
Yeah.
Who have done interviews in the past because they run their own wrestling business in Norwich, England.
Norwich.
And the stories that they're telling are actually true stories. Yeah. And the film, they're literally speaking word for word. And some of the things they say you just can't believe because it's that ridiculous. But it's very funny.
It's a really, really good film. It's really
and Soph
well done.
cried.
I cried, yeah. Yeah, I did cry like twice.
They did something like that at the end of the Tanya Harding movie. And it was really weird. Like how accurate the portrayals were in the film versus the real footage.
Oh, and Cersei Lannister is her mum. So there's a cool little actor in it as
well. Did you immediately hate her, like when you saw her?
Cersei.
Oh, your mom's a terrible person. She sleeps with her brother.
Yeah, she's a really likable character.
Yeah, she's really likable. And when it appears on television or digital download, I will definitely be watching it again because it was really good.
Yeah, definitely. So highly recommend.
So then we thought, what should we do? Let's watch another film. And we missed it at the flicks.
Yeah.
But we got it on digital download.
Yeah.
And that was Bohemian Rhapsody.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have seen it, haven't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good. Sophie really liked it.
I did. It's one of those ones that I'm still chewing it over now. It's been a few days and it's still kind of on my mind a lot. And I think, Brian, you said you liked it, didn't you, when you saw it? And Shelby,
yeah, I did really like it. I'm a Queen fan, and I was in a band, so I feel like I could, I don't know, kind of put myself in their place. You know, doing especially the early stuff because we didn't get popular and play for giant rock shows or anything. So
you didn't?
No, believe it or not.
You weren't at Live Aid?
No, I am not secretly Jimmy Page. I don't know why I picked him, but anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I like music and stuff like that, so it just spoke to me. No, I don't think it was the greatest film ever, and I don't know. I could have sat there and watched them redo a Queen concert, the whole movie. I was into it. I was like, yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, the casting for Freddie and like the rest of the band would just
Brian
incredible.
May is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think they cloned him and was like, we're going to make this movie, but we got to wait till Brian May clone is ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. You wouldn't realise it wasn't a young Brian May. It was kind of like Samuel L. Jackson in Captain Marvel. They just like digitally, digitally made him look younger or something because it was incredible. And I think they missed out big chunks of Freddie Mercury's life, but it was produced by Brian May. And
yeah, that's what you've got to think. They had a big input in the film, so I know they were consulted a lot, and Brian May's not shy with his opinions. So if there was something going on that wasn't right or wasn't particularly accurate or anything, I'm pretty sure he would have piped up. I mean, there is stuff that's done for a bit of dramatization kind of thing, but I think it was relatively close. I think the timeline was slightly off, wasn't it? From when he was actually sort of diagnosed and found out, and I think that all happened after Live Aid, didn't it?
They dramatized it slightly.
Yeah.
But...
My problem with it was that it never decided if it was a movie about Queen or a movie about Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, and I agree
And
with that.
it's
I
like
like
half
it in
and half.
spite of that, but I think
And
That's-
I
yeah, I think
also
that's
feel
fair.
like if we were going to make this, just make it rated R and do all the things that you want to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Show the actual party he went to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think Jim was his partner for years, wasn't he? They were together.
Yeah, they had a much longer
Yeah, and
relationship.
he kind
and
of
it wasn't
felt like
quite as like fantastical the way they got together either.
yeah, and it's sort of I think Jim was a bigger part of his life. It would have maybe been nicer to see more of that. I mean, I know he remained close with his ex-wife right up until he died. But yeah, Jim was a bit...
and Freddie were living in the house in Kensington, and then the ex-wife, Jim left so the ex-wife could move back into the house.
Yeah, so it's kind of
Yeah.
Jim was a little bit sidelined, which in a story about kind of Freddie and which was a bit maybe missed out on, but the acting was incredible. I think he deserved his Oscar. I think.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
I think he played the part really well. I mean, if you're gonna be objective, you can't base it on how good the movie was. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah, fair
his
point.
portrayal, I thought was fantastic.
Mhm.
I believed he was Freddie Mercury the entire
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, same. So it was it's a good film. It's definitely. I was watching it thinking, could you watch this if you weren't a fan of Queen?
Yeah, that's. I
don't
feel
know.
like no. If you didn't like Queen, I don't think it would do anything for you.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. I mean, it might get you
I don't
really
know.
into Queen.
I have a feeling
Yeah.
it probably is going to have some younger generation be more interested in Queen.
Wasn't
And
Bohemian
it did.
Rhapsody on the
Top
top 50 for a
Yes, it did.
while
didn't
after
it?
it came out?
Yeah.
But
Again.
Haven't we had an anniversary maybe of him as well? Was there a bit of buzz about that last year or something?
that's maybe why they released it. I'm not
Yeah,
too
it
sure,
might
but-
have been
Yeah, it
around.
might have
Yeah,
been.
yeah, because we had a lot of Queen hype for a little while, didn't we? But
Don't you
I
guys
thought
always have Queen hype?
usually it comes around every sort of 5 years. Yeah.
Like the Queen?
Or look, every time we spend some money. What? Queen? Oh, it was a bit of a dad joke again, wasn't it? Actually, sorry. So
the tumbleweed. So, and then the final thing that I watched 85% of, and you watched the whole thing.
Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens at the end.
No, you'll have to go back and
Everyone
watch
dies.
it.
I did like Juggernaut though.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. I enjoyed it. I'm actually in, I think, an unusual camp because most people said, "Oh, Deadpool 2 was better than Deadpool 1," but I think I still preferred the first Deadpool. Not to say I disliked this one, but I don't know. I think I laughed more in the first one. I don't know.
This one had meaning and depth.
It did.
I think
Yeah,
I do
what was-
like the second one better.
Okay. But they're still, they're still both really good. It was a good,
Mhm.
it was a good film. I liked the new, well, okay, so the whole crew being put together was just hilarious from
Yes.
the interviews to their ultimate kind of demise, shall we say, was just hysterical.
Oh yeah, Domino, whatever her name is.
Yeah, Domino.
Lucky.
Yeah, she was a cool addition. Thanos is kicking about as well, so that's fun.
That's Cable.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Same
yeah, so it
actor,
was good. It
different
was good
person.
fun. I still really liked it, but yeah, I still hope we get some more Deadpool in the future. I hope he's not done yet.
He's about to be a Pokemon.
He is about to. Yeah, I think I'm a big Ryan Reynolds fan, if I'm honest with you as well. So
I still can't believe that movie's real.
I
I'm going to be sitting in the theater halfway through the movie going, I don't know, this isn't happening. I am currently in a coma. This is not real.
I know. What a time to be alive. We've got an actual Pikachu film with a fluffy Pikachu live action film. I mean, it doesn't get better than that, does it? So
I'm not sure. I'm not sure it does.
no. So I think we can leave the silver screen and head over to the locker room.
Listen up, sports fans. It's time for the locker room.
I think you have a locker room, Phil?
Yes, I do.
Well, sorry. I mean, Chad Chaddison has a locker room, I should say.
Yeah, well, hello there. It's Chad Henson of Parts on the Ends podcast.
Do we feel better about bowls?
I have not played a game of bowls since I lost the bowls.
Thanks for bringing that
I'm
up.
sorry.
Next up in the locker room, more depression for Phil. Go ahead, Phil.
Basically, the game I play indoors and outdoors, and the game I played that I lost, as we have to go back into this again, as you can tell, the first cut is the deepest.
Pick at that wound. Come on.
It was my last competitive game indoors until the summer season outdoors starts, and that doesn't start till like beginning of May, so I've got plenty of time to consider the demise of Philip Lawrence, the bowler, the man, the legend.
You just gotta get back on that horse like Ronda Rousey.
The now beatable magic.
But my locker room this week is the Formula 1 season has started.
Mm-hmm.
First race was Sunday morning. Because of my working hours, I was woke up without an alarm at 5 o'clock in the morning, so I got up and watched it. Bottas won it. It was probably one of the most boring races I've ever seen. Lewis Hamilton, the Englishman, could probably have done it, but he was missing part of the underneath of his car. They're not sure how he's done it yet. There's not been a full report, but they think it was from lap 4. And nothing else really happened.
Yeah.
But that is this week's Formula 1 update. Now, over to you, Brian.
Well, our locker room is more of a weird health and fitness thing. We did as a strange competition with each other, actually.
Yeah.
A juice cleanse or
3
juice
days.
fast. I don't know exactly what you call it, but yeah. We basically
feel
drank
cleansed?
6 bottles of juice, and only that's all we ingested aside from water for 3 days.
No
How
caffeine.
are you alive?
If
Magic.
I lived in California and so said, we're going to do a juice cleanse, I would take my juice to work and I'd stop at In-N-Out on the way and I'd have In-N-Out on the way, and then I'd come home and she goes, you just had your juice? And I'd be like, yes, I've just had my juice, and then I'd throw away the packet of In-N-Out in the bin, and she'd never know any different.
Oh.
We actually did it with a friend who shall remain nameless to save embarrassment, but he gave up on it was a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Wednesday night he had Del Taco,
I mean, if you're
and
going
then
to fall off
Thursday
the
night he
wagon.
got a caniac, which is just totally giving up. But
Yeah. I mean, it's okay.
yeah, it is okay. I don't blame him, but it was actually less difficult than I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was going to be dying and shaking by midday and screaming at my kids for nothing, but it was fine. I don't think I changed much at all.
Yeah, I actually felt like I had a lot of energy to do
The
things.
first day.
The first day was a lot of energy. And we worked out all 3 days.
Which I didn't think I was going to be able to do.
Yeah, I
I thought it
didn't
would be
think so.
like crawling out of my car after work, just dying.
But I think more than anything, it was really good from a mental perspective to realize that we have that much willpower, and also just really appreciating food more.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
yeah. The first bite, I don't like apples, but the first day you have to ease back into eating food. You can't just go from juice for 3 days to having
In and out.
a fry up or something. But
A fry up.
Oh, I
I'm
appreciate
British
that.
now, just in case anyone wasn't sure.
But yeah, you start with fruit.
Yeah, I had an apple. I don't like apples, but I ate that apple like it was the best thing I've ever had. I was just on my way to work eating this apple like, oh my God, apples. Where have you been all my life? But today I'm like, nah, I don't ever want to eat apple again. So it didn't last. But I do appreciate food more, I think.
Mm-hmm. So I liked
think,
it.
Yeah, I think it's when you start. I mean, we've been trying to be sensible at work, and I think it's that knowledge that when you go, I had to try basically from between the hours of 9 and 5. I am not allowed to eat sweets, chocolate, crisps, or biscuits. And
That's cookies.
we might need to translate, mightn't we, for that? So chips and
Digestives.
What's a biscuit? I don't know what
Cookies.
a biscuit. A cookies,
Cookie,
yeah.
yeah.
So I'm not allowed any of that, and it does make me realise that actually, when it comes to 3 o'clock, I'm like, I'm not actually hungry right now. It's made me aware of the fact that I eat for the sake of it, and just
Right.
I'm going to have
Yeah.
that snack because it's there. And actually, now that I have deprived myself of that, it makes me realise that I don't need it as much as I think I do. And actually, I'm not hungry. I'm just bored, basically. So it's
That-
that, and yeah.
That's kind of what part of what the cleanse was too. Like you drink your juice and you're sitting around thinking, I would like to eat, but I'm not really hungry. But I'm bored of this juice and I want to eat.
Yeah.
And it's like you realize also how much of your time every day is spent on food.
Oh God,
Yeah.
yeah. Like if we get home and it's like, what do you want to make for dinner? Har 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 har.
Yeah.
Because we just crack open a juice and drink it. It was so easy.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
coming week's gonna suck actually because we have to cook every day. We're gonna go back on the juice.
But then
Not
I suppose
really.
it also makes you appreciate that sort of time that you can spend together, like cooking the food together and eating together. It's just, appreciating that more everyday stuff. It's, proud of you guys. You did good.
Yeah,
well
there's no way I would have been able to do it on my own. I think, like I said, our friend, if I was the friend and another couple was doing it and they had like the support and I was the loner, oh yeah, when I got home, I probably wouldn't tell them. I would be like, Phil, I would be like, yeah, I'm rocking this juice cleanse. And I'd be sitting there like texting him how great I was doing while eating the In-N-Out burger. So props to him for being honest. But
Yeah.
yeah, if I didn't have someone like, because like I said, it started out as a bet. It came on TV or something, I don't know. But I said, there's no way you could do that. And she was like, whatever, I could do it, you couldn't. And then before I knew it, she was like, I bought the juice cleanse. Oh, great, I can't wait to do it.
Nice healthy competition. Just
Yes,
for
it is. It was fun.
motivation. Yeah. No, it's nice. Nice work. All right. Well, I think that is a wrap on our segments. So let's head on over to the main event.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is your main event.
Ding, ding,
Which,
ding.
yay, is all about crazy Endgame theories. So it's, a month now until Endgame graces
That's
our
nuts.
eyeballs?
26th of April 2019.
Do we have the same release date as you guys? I take it we do.
I think it is a worldwide release date, yes.
Excellent. Good. So,
Oh, they'd have to with that, don't you think? I don't think they could stagger that.
well, I don't know. They blimmin' did it for The Last Jedi, didn't they?
Yeah, but no one
We had
cared
like a
about that.
day. Brian, lots of people cared about The Last Jedi.
A lot of people cared too much, to be honest.
Yes.
But
Yes, I think it
anyway,
was a painful lesson for lots of people. So, just chill. But having said that, I don't have much chill about Endgame. So, and we've had a year to kind of,
I think I might be too excited about it.
yeah.
God, I know.
Like,
I'm worried about that too.
Yeah.
I feel like now that I've sort of, I don't know, unofficially switched to MCU being my top fandom, that now I'm going to put too much pressure on it and then I won't like it as much either. I'm just going to push everything I like away.
Okay,
Be a
Anakin.
sad old
Do that,
grumpy
Brian.
man. That's what I'm destined to be anyway, so I'm just going to let it happen.
It's okay. No, laugh about it with us. It's fine.
But
There we go.
they keep knocking out the park with their films, so
They do.
that's why my hopes are even higher.
Yeah.
So the plan for this section
Yes.
is Soph's going to read us some crazy fan theories, yeah?
Also, yeah.
And I'm
some
going to
of the-
debunk every one of them.
No, not necessarily. You might agree with some of them.
Okay, let's look at number 3 on the list.
No, let's not look at me. Don't look at the list.
Sorry.
Okay?
You're cheating.
I have the list here. Yes. I haven't told Phil these either, so I'm hoping he's going to have some good, pure reactions.
I'm
So-
excited.
Let's dive right on in then. Theory number 1. Thanos is dead. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh.
This theory revolves around the fact that when he clicked his fingers, he removed himself from existence as well. He was one of the 50%. And when you see him at the end chilling in the garden, that's because he's like, yeah, he's gone. He's dead.
So that's
What do you
like his
guys think?
afterlife?
Yeah.
I
So what do
like
you
that
guys-
theory.
What do you think? Yeah. Let's Phil, you're looking at me with a face of...
I don't know.
It's a hard one to debunk. How can we But does that mean then the gauntlet just falls to the floor and then they're stuck with this
The
hand
gauntlet
that they
was
don't
broken,
know?
and he did go off into the sunset, didn't he? So yeah, there is
Yeah,
a
doesn't
chance,
it
yeah.
show it with the broken gauntlet though?
Oh, potentially. Like,
But I
because
mean,
he
I
was
guess they
wearing
do
the
get
gauntlet.
dusted with all their stuff.
Yeah.
It's not like their clothes are left there or something.
Yeah. Just like piles of clothes dotted around all over the place.
Would that mean that the stones went back to wherever they were?
Well, this is the thing. Or do they stay in the gauntlet until... Or has he got the gauntlet in finger click world.
And that's what they're doing. They're going into the quantum realm to go and get the gauntlet back so then they can rewind time, defeat him before he clicks his fingers.
Wow, this escalated.
Yeah,
It's
that did
escalated-
escalate quickly.
Yeah. But see, this is the great thing about this theory.
Well, we've
It's
seen
like,
them
we
in the
can't-
special suits, so they're definitely going somewhere special.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So whether he is
Space,
actually...
I would say.
I think they're going to save Iron Man, but that's by the by. That's another theory. Let's carry on. So
Okay, so we're liking Thanos might be dead theory.
no,
Well, my whole thing is I don't
dislike
see
it.
I don't see any point in killing him because it's like, well, he really has no goal now.
No, exactly.
achieved-
He's not a
Well, I
villain
think-
anymore.
I think the problem is they want to rewind what he did, thus making him want to do it again. So they have to take him out so he
Yeah.
doesn't do it again.
Yeah.
It's
mean-
kind of, I don't know. They're in a weird place. The sketchy thing is if they start messing with time travel, then it's gonna get weird.
Yeah.
Because
Well, I
then
mean-
you're gonna get a world between worlds situation, and it could get real weird.
Bear
real
with me on
fast.
that one because we've got a few of these sort of
Oh
ones
my
coming
God.
up.
Okay.
However,
All right,
Oh,
let's
boy.
we got to go through these.
this leads quite nicely into another theory where we're talking about, Thanos has achieved his big bad guy. He's the bad guy and he's won. Therefore, do we need a new villain? And this theory is
Galactus, obviously.
Ultron becomes the big bad of the of Endgame. How, you're asking?
Yes. Is there more, or did someone
He-
just pull that out?
He corrupts the Infinity Gauntlet via the Mind Stone, because obviously Ultron has got a lot to do with the Mind Stone. Therefore, he is going to come. And a lot of people have said Ultron was a bit underutilized and that he was played really, really well. And so a lot of people are thinking. And apparently in the comics, Ultron does keep coming back a lot.
Yeah, there's
He's quite a
like
hard
4
one to-
iterations of him, I think.
Yeah, and therefore he becomes our big bad as opposed to Thanos.
To what end? To stop them from...
I don't know, just as a big bad guy to fight, I suppose.
I think the big bad is getting everyone back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's a person per se. I think they're fighting what's already been done, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I see where people are... I think this movie is going to undo the sort of preset narrative that everyone expects in a superhero movie.
Yes.
But everyone is putting that preconceived notion onto it. So they expect there to be a big bad. So they're making one up. But I don't think there's going to be one, except for potentially still Thanos, because he will want to stop them from undoing what he's done.
Yeah.
if Quirrell,
Squirrel.
Squirrel, I don't know.
Quill.
If Quill,
Star-Lord.
had not got frustrated with Thanos, the chances are they would have got the gauntlet off of him anyway.
Yeah.
And that was only like Spider-Man and Iron Man and,
Strange.
Nebula.
yeah.
But only Iron Man and Doctor Strange. I mean, arguably two of some of the most
Okay,
powerful.
but then we'll whack Captain Marvel in there and Thor. Thor
Yeah.
would just chop his arm off.
Well, he
And
didn't,
then you've got like,
should have gone for the
Should
arm.
have gone
Didn't.
for the head.
Yeah, exactly.
and then you've got Captain America, and we know that he's the best Avenger with the strongest powers. So,
Exactly.
Oh, for God's sake, go away.
So I'm just saying, if he had, if they can defeat it, then there'd be no point in having like 16 of them going up and fighting him because they'd beat him anyway. So that's why Brian is correct. The big bad is to get everyone back.
See, I find that this is why I really like Thanos as a... I mean, let's call him a baddie then. Like, I don't know, there's something about you almost can follow his line of thinking and you almost think, that's not a bad idea, it's a very bad thing, obviously. But he's very compelling, I think.
Well, he's not looking for world domination or power.
No.
He's looking to make things better, but his means to the end is
Yes.
terrible. Like,
Yes.
that's what makes him a baddie.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
that's
the
what
fact
it is,
that he was doing it by hand before he got the gauntlet. Like, he was literally lining up civilizations
Yeah.
and killing the people on the left and keeping the ones on the right.
Yeah.
That's pretty hardcore.
Mm-hmm. But I
It
do find him
sounds a bit
cool.
like the Nazis, doesn't it?
Oh,
Doesn't
what,
everything
what-
come back to
yeah,
that, though?
Well,
Where
yeah.
they kind of thought that they were,
They thought, yeah.
they were making things better when actually the way they were doing it was not the
Not.
way they should be
Yeah.
doing it.
Isn't that what always the worst people?
Yeah.
They're deluded and they think what they're doing is right. That's just like Darth Vader. I don't
Yeah.
know why everything still comes back to Star Wars. God damn it, Star Wars. Freaking Star Wars. But anyway, yeah, everything comes back to that idea of a good bad guy thinks he's doing the right thing, but is doing it in the wrong way.
Yeah.
And that's what makes bad guys, compelling, I guess. If they're
Magneto.
Yeah, Magneto.
He's a good
Another
example.
Marvel
as
example,
well.
yeah. Go
Yeah.
Marvel.
And then probably actually slightly more like when you compare it to someone like Voldemort, who was a bit more not like moustache twirling, so to speak, but his was all about like self-preservation, wasn't it? And
his was like elitist.
Yeah.
But he still thought what he was doing was right, but it was obviously not.
Yes. Yeah, which I suppose is the same if we're going to like trundle back to Star Wars again. It's kind of the same with Kylo Ren, isn't it? It's so clear that it's wrong that you don't sort of have that. I don't want to say empathize, because I don't empathize with Thanos. I do think that he's bad, but like I said, he is compelling in that sense that I can see that he clearly thinks what he's doing is right, where someone like Kylo Ren is doing what he knows is wrong on purpose to be wrong, kind of thing.
Yes,
I think so. I think this is a very long-winded way of us all saying we don't think Ultron is coming back for Endgame.
It could put a fun spanner in the works if he did turn up at some point, but I don't think it's going to happen. Next.
Doctor Strange went back in time and told Nick Fury everything. And he basically told him, this is what's going to happen, and this is I can't remember how many scenarios he looked through, and this is the one. He told him the one way of how they're going to win. And this is why Fury was kind of upbeat, wasn't he, in Captain Marvel, where he is very somber and cynical throughout every other film. And the reason for that sort of cynicism is because he knows this impending doom is coming. And he knows it is inevitable. And he has just got to do everything he can to stop it from happening. So, what do you guys think?
Bro, people work really hard on these.
Right?
The gymnastics.
It kind of makes... I kind of am into this one.
Surely he...
I thought you said these were stupid. These aren't that bad.
I think they're right, yeah.
You wait.
Wait for the next one.
So, surely he would have put a plan in place already, or Strange came back and said, at some point you're going to melt into nothing, and you have to, in the very last second, make sure that you page Captain Marvel.
Potentially. Well, he could have gone... It might have set him up to the
And
point
that's
to
the
go,
only way.
this is when I need to call her.
Right.
Maybe. He knew that it's like, oh, this is it. This is the end. This is
I like the
this
idea
is the end game.
that he's become really grumpy because of it.
Yeah.
But I think he's become grumpy because the cat scratched his eye out.
I think he's grumpy because Carol left and he was holding a candle for her.
Oh, I like that.
And I shit for and
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel, yeah.
Dude,
so
same. I literally
it's like so hard. Like the whole thing
Yeah.
out the trailer. That's
Oh
all
my
I
God.
took.
It's hard
really.
for me too because I kind of ship Thor and myself, but
We actually were just before we started recording watching Thor,
Yeah.
the first one, and his topless scene. Oh gosh, I got all hot under the collar watching that. But yeah, carry on. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. It's just I kind of am into this as a theory. It's yeah. What
the
what
problem
do you guys
with
think?
that one I see is how would you set that up? Like, how would you explain that in the film? That seems like it would take a lot of really dull exposition.
Yeah, duller things have happened in films, I suppose.
True.
Not generally in Marvel
Unless
films,
unless Nicholas has told Carol
yeah.
what's happening, and then she comes back and then she tells the Avengers, right, this is what we've got to do.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
Doctor Strange, and then there's a little bit of back and forth of why, how do you know all this, and then
Yeah.
she kind of
Yeah.
explains
there
the
you
whole
go.
situation.
Wow.
But
Jeez, you just fix that right up.
Oh, okay.
But that could be because I mean we know she comes back and she says, "Where's Fury?" And they could be
Yeah.
like, "Yo, he turned to dust," and she's like, "All right, here's what we got to do."
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Okay,
seems
you
too
wanna-
easy though. Like the movie's actually only 45 minutes long. They just zip zap, we're done.
Oh my
Please come to the next one.
Okay, you want a crazy theory then?
All right, yeah, let's hit.
y'all
me with
want
your
a
best
crazy
shot.
theory?
The X-Men show up.
Oh God.
Hey.
Like, I would love it, but there's no way in any reality that that's happening.
What X-Men? Like Halle Berry?
I don't know. Whoever,
That would be hilarious if they just took shots from all those old X-Men movies and like photoshopped them in
Oh my goodness! Like
doing
Rogue One.
stuff. Yeah, there you go.
Of the X-Wing pilot, suddenly there's just like Storm turns round. I'm into it. Rogue? I mean, Rogue's cool. Maybe she could like drain power from Thanos or something.
Yeah, she could, yeah.
Her thing that she does. I don't know. But I just like that one because I quite like the X-Men and I thought that could be quite a fun.
Well, I mean, technically they should be there during this Infinity War, but, you know, as things are, they're contractually obligated not to.
I think meeting between Captain America and Wolverine would be funny.
Well, Wolverine and Hulk have a thing that goes back, like, decades. So seeing them together would be fun.
I just think, like, say Deadpool showing up, I think Captain America would just, like, set on fire, wouldn't he? I don't think Captain America can be in the presence of Deadpool. I think that's just, like, they are just incompatible. Anyway, so that's a slightly more...
That's not going to happen.
It's not, we don't need to...
That one does qualify as stupid.
Okay, this one, guys. This next theory. Groot will regrow out of Thor's Stormbreaker weapon.
So Groot was disapparated, yeah?
Yes. Why is everyone so quiet? Why is not everyone like loving this theory?
I don't remember the
because he's the handle.
Yeah, because Mjolnir gets busted. Groot's part of Stormbreaker the dwarf that's giant makes. That was such a good part of the movie anyway. But
Grows
I just can't see that happening. I mean, it'd be cool, I guess.
Can you roll with this for a minute, though? Just...
Where would the weapon go? Would the head of the axe just fall off and it's like, I am Groot?
Or he looks down and it's like his little Groot face on the handle.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. You hear like a muffled... because he's got his hand over where his mouth is, where he's holding it.
Or... Here we go.
He might like just pop out of it, you know, like a branch falls off and it becomes Groot. Maybe.
No, I'm saying end credits, right?
Yeah.
Thor has decided that he's going to go and set up a new Asgard somewhere.
Yeah.
So he goes fine, drops the weapon, then Groot regrows out of the weapon.
Or he's just sat there contemplating Asgard and this little branch appears and it's like, hey, I am Groot. And Thor looks down and it's like, what? And it's just this tiny little branch sticking out of it. Or like an acorn or something. Just falls off it. But it's like electricity.
I'm not sure how it's going to save the day, but...
I'm not saying all of these are going to save the day. These aren't necessarily...
But yeah, it's a nice idea. No, next one.
Oh, wow, okay. Okay, this one has been doing the rounds a bit. This is probably a less silly theory. But we're heading into kind of face-off territory. Hawkeye is a Skrull.
Oh.
This one's been getting a bit of legs online at the moment.
To what end?
That he's actually... There's a whole storyline of like the infiltration of Earth and that the Skrulls have been impersonating. And apparently they did impersonate some of the Avengers and made their way onto Earth with a view to taking it over. And there are some theories that this will be the next phase of the MCU, will be all to do with the Skrulls, and that perhaps that Hawkeye was always a traitor amongst the ranks, that he was always a Skrull, and there has never been a Hawkeye. So, what do you think?
That's dumb. First of all, they did not paint the Skrulls as that kind of people in the MCU.
No, it's interesting, isn't it?
I don't think they're going in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
That would be very counter to how we see them in Captain Marvel.
Yes.
2, don't mess with Hawkeye.
Well, I did wonder about bringing this one up because,
3.
He has kids.
Don't mess with Hawkeye. 4, 5, and 6, don't mess with Hawkeye. 7.
No, listen.
Yes, what you're
kids.
saying. Yeah.
Can you?
You can't. That doesn't work that way.
Unless the kids are Skrulls as well.
Oh my gosh.
They did keep saying that they could even transform DNA.
Mm-hmm.
So if everything is transformed, surely if he was to breed with a human, a squirrel was to breed with a human.
Squirrel!
Then that would kind of work. But yeah, who knows? I don't think... I like the infiltration idea, and that there's lots of those people living on Earth acting as humans, but I'm not sure that Hawkeye is one of them.
Okay.
I do like the idea because it brings the space part of the MCU that I really enjoy into the forefront, but I just don't see that happening. Sometimes I think the comic book people look to the source material to a fault because the MCU isn't copying it exactly.
No.
So also don't mess with Hawkeye.
Yeah. It must be quite frustrating, actually, if you're a really big fan of the kind of Marvel comics and you think you probably know what's going to happen, and I think that, like the Civil War storyline, doesn't Captain America end up dying in the Civil War storyline in the comics, and like that's how he goes out, and so you must be kind of going into Civil War thinking, well, Captain America's going to die, and then he doesn't, and yeah, it's got to be quite tricky for Marvel fans when you're like,
Iron Man saved him.
Yeah, no, but no.
Because Iron Man's got a conscience.
Let's not. Can you stop looking at the notes, okay?
Well, I mean, several years ago, I would have said, I would have pushed up my glasses and said, well, actually, that's not what happens in the original comic. So this universe is pretty much just stupid, and it's unnecessary to the actual...
I'm really glad that you've come this far from that.
But yeah, now I'm thinking to myself, why would I want to go watch some story I already know by heart?
Yeah.
I would like another version. Like,
yes.
I appreciate when the book and the movie aren't the same now.
Yeah, same.
I think I've come full circle where if I went to a movie and it was literally the book I knew, I would be like, okay, I mean, cool. It's a good story. I remember reading it.
Because the film never lives up to the book if they just copy it straight off. That's why.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's better they do something different, isn't it? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like, Phil, you mentioned Captain America there, so let's have a think of Captain America. Obviously, the very big rumour that I think we all have heard is that Chris Evans' contract's coming into an end, that he said he's kind of done with Captain America, that this is going to be his last hurrah. So therefore people are naturally going, well, Captain America's going to die. He's going to be some sort of sacrifice and he's going to die.
Didn't they say that about the guy who plays Iron Man after Iron Man 3?
Yeah, I
feel like this contract BS comes up randomly all the time.
Well, this is the thing. I wonder sometimes, is it misdirection? But I've got another rumour based on misdirection in a little bit. But kind of keeping with how to... If it is true that he's done and he doesn't want to play Captain America anymore, then a less obvious way, potentially, rather than just killing him off, is that he ends up in some sort of alternate reality, alternate universe, back in time, whatever, where he gets to have his dance with Peggy and him and Peggy live out their life together, as opposed to him dying, right? Now the romantic in me quite likes the thought that he goes, no guys, sorry, I gotta go see a girl about a dance, and then he goes off with Peggy into that I don't know, if you could maybe just not contemplate the consequences of removing Captain America from a timeline and sending him back to like the 1930s, do your romantic hearts like that idea, or Phil, are you just looking at me going, no, I want him dead because I don't like him?
I was going to say, you should ask Shelby because Shelby loves Captain America.
Yay, Shelby, go.
No, I don't. I hate Captain America.
That was sarcasm, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, no. Does anybody here like Captain America other than me?
I'm neutral on him.
Okay.
He's not high on my list, but I don't dislike him. So.
Oh, I dislike him.
Okay.
I like my superheroes to smash.
Okay, this isn't okay, yes, you like the Hulk. Yes, you like Thor. Yes, you have no subtlety.
I like my superheroes to be able to deal with lightning. I like my superheroes to be little girls that get knocked down all the time and build themselves up to being marvellous women.
Marvellous women, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like my superheroes to be a small, short man who was injected by something.
Okay,
and then have moral... I've got morals now, and I need to save my best friend, and I'm going to criticise Iron Man. I don't...
Yep.
If Captain America's going to go anyway, Captain America needs to go by sacrificing himself by saving everyone else. That is the only way he should go. And then him and Peggy can have a nice time in heaven together. That's the only way he should go. That's a true...
You don't think that's
I would actually
obvious?
Go... Oh, okay, that's interesting.
You don't think that's a bit obvious?
I think he's just going to retire. I think he's going to be like, I'm done with this superhero stuff.
I don't know if he's capable of retiring, though. He just cannot sit idly by whilst any sort of evil.
Well,
That's
then
why he needs to
flourishes.
sacrifice himself.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really ask for a background on the character. I just wondered what you thought of this theory of him ending up with Peggy. In fact, I think let's go to you, Brian. If you're Captain America neutral,
I think it would be interesting because, like you said, him just sacrificing himself is kind of like the obvious choice.
and he's kind of done that already.
So
He's done a
if-
huge element of
Yeah,
sacrifice anyway.
if he gets to go out on a different note, it would be very interesting.
Mhm.
Again, that's an odd setup for that one though, and with
Yeah.
the whole time travel and stuff, that just gets
Yeah.
sticky. But
Okay.
I'm afraid that's where it's headed anyway. So who knows? Who knows what could happen?
So just to sort of follow this one through, but with a slightly different shift, another theory is saying it's too obvious that Captain America is going to die, and they don't like it when we guess what's going to happen. And so
Yes, the
there is
writers
another-
all sit around and do what we're doing right now, and they're like, "Well, that's what they think. We're gonna
True.
write this differently."
But whether they're saying it's too obvious, him tweeting saying like I'm essentially done with Captain America, like they just wouldn't let him tweet stuff like that if it was true.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah,
maybe. I
that's
don't know. So if there's all that
probably-
kind of, like you're saying
yeah.
about the dude who played Doctor Who went, I'm categorically not playing Doctor Who, and then was like, surprise, I'm Doctor Who. That kind of thing. So the theory is, to the point, you think Captain America's going to sacrifice himself, but it actually ultimately ends up being Iron Man who takes the
Love
hit.
it. Love it.
Okay, discuss.
Tony Stark is like 1,000 times better.
No. Okay, that's it. I'm taking off any sort of bashing of Captain America here because there's lots of Captain America fans out there, myself included. Just praise Iron Man without tearing down Captain America, please.
I
It is
did. I said he's
possible.
1,000 times better.
No, that's not.
Yep, he is.
I'm not tearing him down. I'm just saying he is 1,000 times better. I'm not saying that Iron Man is terrible.
Obviously,
But he's not going to. He's going to live his days out with a little baby. He's seen
He's
the
going
future.
to be with Pepper.
Yeah.
See, I don't know.
True love story,
I don't
that.
know if Iron Man.
You know, a woman who's actually still alive.
Yeah, right.
Just because you don't like
Burn.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
I don't like Gwyneth Paltrow, Phil, but I'm not going to bring that up on this episode because that would be inappropriate for me to do so when there are fans of Pepper Potts out there.
well, Pepper Potts.
I just
doesn't
think
have
of
What's the
kid-
point of me doing a podcast if I'm not allowed to have my opinion?
I just think children should be allowed to eat potatoes, okay, Phil? That's my issue with Gwyneth Paltrow.
Okay,
Let
fine.
your kids eat potatoes, let them eat bread, just calm down, woman. Anyway, and don't name your children
Wouldn't it be funny?
Apple.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't the kid's name Apple? It would be funny if they weren't allowed to eat apples.
Just, yeah. But anyway, I feel like Iron Man has gone on quite a significant character growth from a very sort of selfish, self-centered man to put Iron Man in a position where he feels that he should sacrifice himself for others is a very, very interesting.
One thing that we keep forgetting is beginning of Age of Ultron.
Mhm.
He looked into the Tesseract or whatever it was, yeah,
His vision.
and he had a vision that they were all dead in space.
Yeah.
He is currently in space.
He's the last one. He is the last one. That's his nightmare, isn't it? That he's the last one standing. And he is, yeah, like you say, currently in space.
So he is then going to sacrifice himself for it, and I've just won the game. Right, I've just won the
He
end
is
game.
trades his soul in for the Soul Stone. What do you guys think?
I don't know. It's Iron Man is the most involved character in the MCU.
Yeah.
He's highly present in Civil War. He's in Spider-Man. He has 3 of his own movies. He's in all the Avengers. So it would be hard to have an MCU without an Iron Man, I think.
Mm.
But at the same time, someone's got to go.
Yeah, no.
I don't think it's going to be a completely happy ending. I don't think we're going to rewind and everything's going to be sunshine and roses and Thanos is going to be in jail going, shucks. I don't know.
What do you think, Shelby?
I think it's pretty lame to have him sacrifice himself.
Okay.
I mean, I think everyone knows that that's what Tony Stark would do. I mean, there's so many times that he has.
Well, yeah, Avengers 1. He already
Yeah.
did it. It just didn't happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, I don't know. Any sort of like self-sacrifice seems kind of too predictable for any
Yeah,
character, even if it's a
especially-
character I don't like,
Yeah, especially all the original Avengers, it's very within their characters too. Like every single one of them to sacrifice themselves, isn't it? So The only one that
It
would be
wouldn't be
interesting
for
would
Hulk,
be...
actually.
Well, I was going to say, it'd be interesting if it was the Hulk. Is that his only way out? Because obviously he's said that he's basically impossible to kill. But is this the way that you can kill the Hulk, you know?
Yeah.
If that's sort of a way out for Banner. I don't know. I don't know. But it's like you say, it's not particularly surprising of any of the original Avengers, because you just know that it's within their natures to...
In
they'll do it.
Ragnarok, Banner didn't ever want to become the Hulk again.
Yeah.
It all starts going wrong in Infinity War.
Yeah.
And all he wanted was to be able to get the Hulk back, and he couldn't get him.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, Banner was quiet in Infinity War, wasn't he? He could...
They're saving him.
I know
Because
what you
he's
mean.
important.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Or whether he's going to do that thing of being able to finally achieve some kind of balance with the Hulk.
Yeah.
And that those two actually learn to work together harmoniously as opposed to just fighting each other all the time. And therefore, once they have this kind of acceptance, do they then become, Dr. Hulk kind of thing.
Cool. Next.
So, a sort of little theory that I think people will have a yes/no answer to pretty quickly. Loki isn't dead. That was a projection.
Oh God, I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you go into the whole Norse mythology, you can't actually kill the gods. They just come back later. So
yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, but you can't just strangle a god to death, surely.
yeah.
It's got to be something really special to kill a god.
But he's not.
Is he
Yeah,
dead?
he's a dim-eye, but I think they could still come back.
I mean, also, he does say, when are you not going to fall for that? And I just feel like everyone falls for it all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know whether it's just, are we just all in denial because he was killed so quickly at the beginning of Infinity War that we were all like, well, no,
I'm in denial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope, because I love Loki. He's written really well throughout the whole... Like, he's definitely a pain-in-the-butt trickster.
Yes.
But he can be used for good as long as it also serves his own purpose.
Yeah. And he does have a bit of a connection with the old Tesseract. I can't remember which stone it is now, actually. Fake fan. But whichever stone the Tesseract became, he does have that whole link with it as well. So
Blue is power?
Is it?
I don't remember.
That would seem about right. What about you, Phil? You're uncharacteristically quiet.
I think he might be dead.
Mm-hmm.
I do hope not, but I do think he is.
I think I agree. And I don't necessarily... I'm okay with it if he is dead, only because he's getting his own show anyway, so it's not like we're not going to have more Loki. Really cynically, I don't necessarily need him in the movies anymore if he's getting his own TV series. But I think it is kind of a lame way to kill him off if that is his death.
It wasn't a lame way to kill him off, because he was trying to help his brother finally do the right thing, and he was trying to kill Thanos because Thanos was the bad thing. He was trying to protect his brother, and that's why. So he's actually...
And weren't his last words quite profound as well? Didn't he say something about that you can't... I can't remember what he said now, actually, but it was something... Or, like, you're not going to win... I can't remember what it was, but, yeah. It was something quite profound. But,
Yeah.
Okay, but we're all pretty pro-Loki here, then.
Pro-Loki, yeah.
For sure. Pro everything to do with Thor.
Well, this kind of ties into the next sort of...
I assure you, brother, the sun will shine on us again.
Yeah, it's pretty profound, you know?
And then he says... Yeah, that's it, I think.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know, yeah.
This makes me want to watch Infinity War.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely going to need to watch Infinity War before, yeah.
Yeah.
So then this kind of links in with our other so-called real death in Infinity War, because obviously it was Loki and then Gamora, because obviously they were the two who died and weren't, like, finger-clicked. So I think people who were finger-clicked, it's a bit more like, who knows? But when I walked out of Infinity War, I was like, well, Gamora's definitely dead. She's completely and 100% dead. No, not according to the internet, she's not.
I actually never thought that either.
Oh, okay. No, I was just like, well, she didn't go into the stone and die. She got thrown off a cliff and died. Like, that was her death, kind of thing. So I took it really literally.
But wasn't it thrown off a cliff, like, as part of the, like, I don't know, we didn't see a body, that's all I'm saying.
See, I thought we did see a body. I thought she
we did.
landed down
did
the
we?
bottom. Yeah, that's why I was...
we never did.
No, I think we did.
Oh, dear
And she was
me.
sort of lying on the floor. And I can remember thinking, well, that's her dead then. But the internet is theorizing that perhaps her soul is residing in the Soul Stone, And that this then kind of links in with Thanos' dead theory, because he kind of saw her in that place as a kid, and that people reckon that was inside the Soul Stone because it was orange, and apparently there's something to do with whenever Thanos and Gamora are in orange. That's a big, if you're going to dive into colour palettes of films, which I'm not going to do today. But yeah, people reckon that she's inside the Soul Stone, and therefore she will be a key to the undoing of the Soul Stone's power, and therefore kind of undoing the Infinity Gauntlet a little bit. So what do we think? Gamora, alive or dead?
I think dead now, but potentially not completely dead.
Same.
Okay.
Dead.
You think dead for good?
Yeah.
I don't want her to be. I feel like out of everyone as well, she's got a huge... Her and Nebula have got the most amount of cause against Thanos.
Oh
It's
my god.
so-
Nebula in the
Yeah.
trailer. Holy
Yeah.
cow.
Yeah. I think Nebula's going to be pivotal, but that will come down to my actual predictions for this film. But yeah, I just think, I agree. I thought she was definitely dead, but I like the theory that she's not definitely dead as well, because I like Gamora.
I
So the
really
next
think
theory.
anything is open. That's one of the coolest parts about this.
Wouldn't it be really bad if, like, we do all this theorizing and they're like, nope, everyone is definitely dead. He killed them all with that finger click, and that's it.
See,
That
I
would be
think-
crazy.
I think that they all just went to an alternate universe.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay,
I
so
think
yeah,
that they're
yeah.
both halves of people are in, like, a universe that is a mirror reflection. So, like, one half's trying to get them back, the other half's trying to...
Get back to
Get
the...
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ant-Man might
And
be the
Ant-Man,
linchpin
I think
with
he
the
is
quantum realm and everything.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
he can get between the two.
There is a thing that apparently Captain Marvel can do it as well. Something to do with her powers, and again, this is going back to a lot of comics.
Her power is
Yeah.
because of the stone, right?
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
she's part of the whole.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's huge rumors that, like, she will be able to wield the Infinity Gauntlet, that she can travel into the quantum realm with Ant-Man. There's also things going around. These are all kind of more legitimate ones rather than, like, crack theories of, like you saying, Shelby, alternate universe, or that people are in the quantum realm and perhaps Ant-Man has seen them down there, but he's the only one who can come back out of it, and therefore he's now got to get people back down there again. That could be the suits, because they're going to go into the quantum realm, or they could be going into space. We just don't know. But yeah, I
feel
like
it's space,
alternate.
but-
Yeah, I like alternate universe theories, and like you say, that kind of gets away with too much time messing. Because if you start messing with too many things in time, there's a lot of films that are going to get undone potentially because of it.
Yeah, it'll basically be what X-Men did.
Yeah.
Psych, none of this ever happened.
Yeah, basically. However, with the time, just a gentle little time theory that I did quite enjoy is that somehow Doctor Strange used the time stone or something before he handed it over to Thanos, and therefore, obviously the person who... So he was the only one who was capable of using the time stone. Wrong. Wong can use the time stone. And there's a fun rumour going around that the Avengers are going to find Wong and get Wong to use the time stone to help. So does everyone like the thought of Wong either using the time stone, or do we just like the thought of him being in Endgame?
I really want Wong to be in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
love
I
Wong.
could live happily with that.
Yeah, he would mix in well with the Avengers.
Yeah, and he was in Infinity War for a bit as well at the start, so he's got the power, so to speak.
Yeah.
I could see no other way of getting around that with that. Right, okay, well, I'm gonna have to sing it. I just,
Yeah,
I'm here.
sometimes it's just there for you.
yeah. So we're all quite pro Wong then in this group, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It gives a lot of emphasis on a very much a side character, they say. I think it's
True.
unlikely, but I'd love it.
Yeah.
Right, go on and hit us up with another one.
Okay, so this is again just another little theory. I don't know how much it'll change. Maybe you guys will come up with some ideas. Shuri had the neural network of Vision because she was trying to do that before it all went to pot, and she is therefore able to resurrect Vision. How do we think about that?
Can you resurrect Vision without the Mind Stone?
Well, I don't know.
Doesn't he need that to be
I don't
Vision?
know.
That was the whole point. They were trying to...
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But it was like that she actually did it. that she figured out a way to have him exist without it, and therefore he's come
Hey,
back.
if anyone can do it, she could.
Yeah.
She's my favourite character in the Marvel universe.
I thought you'd
She
have
is
an opinion on
fabulous.
this one.
Yeah. Oh, I just, yeah.
So you'd be happy with more Shuri?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what
Absolutely.
the importance of Vision would be, but,
Well, Vision was like the strongest Avenger until Captain Marvel come along.
but is he the strongest without the...
Maybe not.
Yeah. It was the Mind Stone, wasn't it, he had?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think, yeah. But I like that people are including Shuri in their theories for Endgame. I think it's,
I think she's clearly a fan favorite.
yeah, definitely. So, okay, and then I think I can round this off with a slightly more sort of downer.
Hooray!
But essentially, it's not gone unnoticed that we are left with the original Avengers, who have already had all their storylines and films and things. So another prevalent theory online is that those Avengers are all going to die, and that the next wave of heroes come along and come back from the clicked world, but that we will lose all of our original Avengers. What do we think? Would they do that to
Boo.
us?
No.
That also seems too easy. That's kind of like the underhand pitch story. Oh, we saved the day, but we all sacrifice ourselves instead of just one of us.
Mm-hmm.
We got him. Didn't see that
I
coming.
mean, it was my initial thought leaving the cinema last year. I was like, oh, well, they've kept all the original ones alive, so it's just going to swap next year when the film comes out. But obviously I was quite raw leaving the cinema at that point. But
That was a crazy
like you said,
experience. Like
it really was.
there
really
were
surreal.
young
I was very
kids
angry.
inconsolable. Like,
Yeah.
what happened to Spider-Man? Where's
I know.
Black Panther?
And parents were just like,
Yeah, and then I felt kind of bad. Not real bad, but kind of bad that they have no
Yeah.
answers and not for a year. Luckily, little
No.
kids like forget about stuff. So, but still, it was it was crazy.
Because it was everybody who you wouldn't have expected to die. I think that was the thing that really,
Mhm.
really got me. As soon as Black Panther went, I was like, well, wait a minute, I wasn't even worried about him. Like, he's just been
Yeah.
introduced. He's just brought into this. You know, people I would have been worried for would have been...
Oh yeah, there were
Black
people
Widow,
in our
Hawkeye,
theater
yeah.
screaming, "No!" Like, it was crazy.
So, I have to say, I'm not necessarily saying I like the theory or that I think it would be good from like a storytelling perspective, but I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the original Avengers were to go, because I just think, you know, it's going to be someone, isn't it? But will they be content to stop at one, or will they pull it out of the bag and kill a couple of them off?
I don't think they'll kill them. I think that they will kill a couple off, and then the others will go separate ways to go and do other things because they've got this next generation to take over. And
Yeah,
some of them just
I
need
do
a
think
rest.
I think you're right. I think this might be the last we see of the original Avengers, at least in the way we've been seeing them so substantial. I think they might be kind of passing the torch with this. Because isn't this like the last film in some, like, I don't know how their runs or orders go, but like this is the end of one.
Phase, isn't it?
Yeah, phase.
Is it
There you go.
yeah,
That's the word I
yeah.
was looking for. And then the next phase starts with, I don't even know, something. So I think it will be a passing of the torch. But I'm with Phil. I don't think they're all going to die, but I think they are going to, like, Hawkeye's obviously going to get his family back and go live peacefully like a bomb dude that he is.
And Thor's going to go and set up
Rebuild
New
Asgard.
Asgard.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
if you do stuff like that, then you get the opportunity that something happens somewhere in the MCU.
I mean,
And-
For the next big
and then-
Avengers, you could
and
bring him
then-
back.
yeah.
And then they can go, right, Mr. Hemsworth, can you come back and do a 5-scene cameo in
Yeah.
this film? And then all the people that watched Thor, you know, in 5 years' time when the next film and he makes a cameo comes out, we're all going, oh, wow, this is the greatest thing ever. But we're also in love with the new characters that they've brought in, so if they
And they
kill them
throw
all
them-
off, that's it, done.
Yeah.
They throw them in the trailer and it gets everyone there, and they're there for 5 seconds. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also, you've got to remember as well, like you said, about these kids being inconsolable at the end of Infinity War. Like, the original Avengers, you know, kids love Thor, they love Iron Man, they love Captain America, and, you know, can you really do that to children where you just kill off their heroes? And like, I don't know what kind of message that sends as well to, you've got to remember that, like, yeah, there's stuff for adults in these films, there's stuff for kids in them, but they have to be enjoyed by everybody. And it's not, but then I don't know, they killed everyone off in Rogue One, so what do I know?
I think it's the substantialness of the characters that they would be killing off is...
They are the icons of...
Yeah, you're killing off the icons of the...
Yeah.
And how many Iron Man lunchboxes and backpacks are you going to sell if you kill him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing about comics. There's always someone that comes in and takes up the moniker afterward.
Yeah.
So if Tony Stark dies, we get Ironheart, perhaps.
Yeah.
If Thor leaves, perhaps we get I can't remember her name, the female version of Thor.
Oh, yeah.
So there's options that we can have, kind of stand-in replacements for these same characters. And then you can sell all new attire and lunchboxes because it's the same character you like, but it's a little different.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know these...
But I mean, killing characters in comic books is the thing. Like, they do that literally all the time. So the fact that so many people have remained safe for these 10 years is kind of counter to what one would expect. And honestly, think about that. Some of these people have been playing these same characters for 10 years. That's kind of unprecedented.
Yeah.
Well, it's, to be playing them as often as they are anyway, it's unprecedented.
Yeah.
Even for TV, a lot of seasons don't have 10. That's a lot.
Yeah. Well, so I think that's all I've got for some slightly wild Endgame theories. If anybody listening has some crazy theories that they'd like to let us know, do hit us up. I always love. I've got my tinfoil hat ready to listen to any crazy theory.
That's true.
Yeah. Whether you think, did you like Groot coming out of the handle? Do we think that's going to be a thing? Or do you think maybe Goose will save the day and he'll regurgitate everybody in a tiny little universe that he accidentally swallowed or something?
At the end of the movie, you think after everything, it's just all gone wrong. And then you see Goose just one by one.
Dry heaving. Oh, there's Spider-Man. Oh,
yeah.
There's Scarlet Witch. So, yeah, thanks ever so much for listening. As always, I'm going to hand you over to our USA counterparts who can close a podcast much better than I can.
If you want to check us out on social media, you can find us at PNE_pod for Twitter and Instagram.
Give us your more than character allotment theories via email at contact@podsandends.com.
And you can check out our content on podsandends.com.
Do it. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much for listening.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.